Once upon a time, in a small village in England, there lived a little girl named Jane Eyre. Jane was an orphan, which means she didn't have a mommy or daddy. She lived with her mean Aunt Reed and her naughty cousins who didn't like her much. They made Jane feel very sad and lonely. One day, Jane was sent away to a school called Lowood. The school was very strict, and the headmaster, Mr. Brocklehurst, was not kind at all. But Jane made a dear friend named Helen Burns. Helen was very kind and helped Jane feel better. They shared many secrets and dreams in the cold, drafty school. Sadly, Helen became very sick and passed away, which made Jane very sad. But Jane used her sadness to become stronger and worked hard to do well in school. She grew up to be a smart and talented young lady. When Jane was old enough, she decided to leave Lowood and find a job. She became a governess, a kind of teacher, at a grand house called Thornfield Hall. Thornfield belonged to a mysterious man named Mr. Rochester. Jane taught a sweet little girl named Adele and got to know all the people who worked in the house. Mr. Rochester was quite serious and grumpy, but Jane was not afraid of him. Jane and Mr. Rochester spent a lot of time talking, and soon they became very good friends. They liked each other a lot, but there was something mysterious in Thornfield Hall. Jane often heard strange noises, like laughter, coming from the attic. One day, Jane found out that Mr. Rochester had a big secret. He was already married to a lady named Bertha, who was very ill and lived in the attic. Jane was heartbroken and decided to leave Thornfield Hall to start a new life. She wandered around alone until she was taken in by a kind family, the Rivers. They took care of her, and Jane even discovered that they were her cousins. Jane also learned that she had inherited some money, which made her very happy. Jane decided to go back to Thornfield Hall. When she arrived, she saw that the house had been destroyed by a fire. She found out that Bertha had started the fire and that Mr. Rochester had lost his eyesight trying to save her. Jane still loved Mr. Rochester very much, and they were reunited. They got married and lived happily ever after, caring for each other and finding joy in their simple life together. And that's the story of brave and kind-hearted Jane Eyre.